welcome back. Welcome to day 4 of Vlogmas. I'm going to do a brief check-in with you guys and then we'll catch up in a little bit once I finish my hair and makeup. I think today we're going to do a little bit of a decluttering, detoxing, and kind of talking through some makeup stuff. But while I'm thinking about it, before I kind of forget and get on track with my day. So when I got up this morning, I checked in with my face, kind of sat there for a minute to see how I was feeling, if I felt like it was still really intense. I have all of like my base makeup on right now, so you can't really see anything from that. And I only have one eyebrow done. But I did my skincare. I did the very basics. I washed it, I did my toner, I actually put my vitamin C serum on this morning, and then I did a little bit of moisturizer. And when I got to my vanity mirror this morning, I took a good like look at my skin, and it looks like there's almost like little cuts, like the microderm was too intense. I'm not quite sure how to explain it. So it doesn't really look like it's that bad on this side, but it still looks like my skin is really affected. So I'm hoping that'll heal up nicely. I'm just going to be really gentle and make sure that I'm not putting any acids or anything on it crazy for the next couple of days until it really does kind of heal, because like I said, you can't, I don't know if you can see it. I think the camera smooths it out a little bit, but there's like little cuts and stuff on my skin. So yeah, that is all I have for this minute. I do want to check in and kind of start the vlog, kick that off, do my makeup this morning, gonna get ready, and then we're gonna do a bit of a detox, and then I'm going out later and I'll take you with me for that. But we are going to do a full-on beauty detox this morning. Get excited. Okay guys, so it's time to do a little detoxing. Now I have pulled a good majority of stuff out of my beauty storage already. So this is everything that has already come out, which is a lot. And some of these things I love and use. This Chanel bronzer was definitely something I adore. And I'm very sad to be getting rid of. There's really nothing wrong with this Laura Mercier setting powder. There's a lot in there, but again, we're going on toxic, so that goes away. Still quite a bit of foundation. So for the most part, all of this stuff will get passed on to friends that I think might use and like it. If it's a bit older, so like this Tarte Shape Tape I've had for 6 months. It says 6 months at the bottom. I've definitely had it longer than that. So that'll probably go in the toss pile. So the first thing I'm going to kind of do is go through this. There's still a few more things left in my drawer over there, but I'm going to go through and kind of check the Best Buy marks on the back, and pull everything that I think needs to be thrown away, and then separate everything. I want to show you some dupes that I've already found, and then I'm going to kind of separate it based on like who I think in my friend group would like the following things. So let's start with a little bit of sorting. Piles are sorted. So this is a pile of stuff that's really old and probably just needs to go away. And then I've sorted a pile for a couple of different friends that I feel like would match with certain products. Actually, this can probably all go in that pile. Based on some of my lighter shades versus some of my darker shades. And then these lip glosses and lipsticks back here, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with those, but I did want to kind of pull through here and talk about certain stuff. Like, I am not fully cleaning out my eyeshadows, if for no other reason than I'm going to kind of pace myself in getting new ones as I can afford it. So, and certain things I know as far as non-toxic beauty goes, certain colors, if I wanted something for a very specific look, will be harder to find. So let's get there. I did want to talk about some of the other things that are still in here that I'm getting rid of, and certain dupes that are in the stuff that I'm getting rid of, like that I've found new versions for, or ones that I've tried and feel like haven't worked. So let's kind of talk through those in case you are looking for certain dupes. So the things that I kind of wear regularly are like base products. Now I haven't found a dupe for my Laura Mercier tinted or powder, so I can't give you one of those. But I do like this NARS foundation, the Longwear Radiant foundation. I'm a big fan of that. I would say the closest things that I found that kind of dupe it is the Crunchi Beautifully Flawless foundation or the Ilia True Skin Serum foundation. These are both, this one has more coverage than this one, but the color range in this is terrible. So that is one thing that I'm not a massive fan of, and it may just be where I'm buying it from, but I feel like there's a severe lack of shades in this. So I think the Ilia one has a bit more shades available. I've been enjoying both of those, but if I'm honest, I really like this one more than this. I feel like this gets quite a bit more oily on me throughout the day, so if you have oily skin, I would not recommend that. It's definitely a dewier foundation. If you prefer a matte, maybe not going to be your cup of tea. But again, I have been trying it. You guys will see it in a first impressions in a couple of days. I know that things are kind of scattered throughout. I've been loving that, and that is something that I definitely will keep in my collection. I am pretty happy with the shade that I got. But the other thing that I got that I want to get another shade of is Fitglow Beauty. So I got their concealer to kind of replace my NARS pot concealer, because this is the cut. I have two of these, and I use one under my eye and one all over my face. If I'm honest, this is used and loved, so it's probably just gonna go into the trash because it is, I don't know if it's 2 years old. We'll see. It is a well-loved concealer, and I was very hesitant to part with certain items just because they're such, like, I wanted to make sure that I have my staples on staples on staples before I'm like chucking things out. And again, you can replace things as your budget allows. I kind of utilized the Black Friday sales to really beef up my collection to do this big shift, but getting rid of this one, the only reason I'm even considering it, and I'm really happy to do it, is because I really like this Fitglow Beauty one. But I do want to get a lighter shade for under my eyes. I have C2. Okay, so the next thing that's in my collection that I'm getting rid of, but I'll be honest and say that I haven't found a dupe that I like for it yet. I think that the Vapour Stick foundation may end up being a close choice, but it is my Hourglass Vanishing Stick foundation in Alabaster. This is probably actually a little bit too light for me, but this has been one of my favorite foundations for months. So I really like my Crunchi one well enough that I'm comfortable with letting this go, but as far as like a dupe for it, I haven't found it. I was hoping that the Well People one might be a good option, the Narcissist one, but it's just so, like, there's no, you can barely even see that. There's like no coverage to this guy. I still keep playing with it, and I'm hoping like I can get it to work for me, but I just feel like if the whole reason I have one, this is like a heavier coverage one, and I've gotten so much use out of this summer. I used it on me, I used it on friends for weddings, I paired it with my by Terry to like give warmth to it, and I use it on multiple people. So I love this foundation. I think it wears really well. It's just such a good stick foundation that I want to find something that dupes this, and I was hoping the Well People would be, and it's definitely not. Okay, so as far as lipsticks go, I own quite a few reds, and I'm actually pretty much gonna ditch a good majority of them. I am wearing a non-toxic red today. I am wearing the Gabriel Red Lip Liner with a bit of Electrica on top of it. Let me find it. There you go. So I really like this red. I have been a big fan of my other reds, and this is definitely not as like deep as like the NARS one. So that might be something that hangs on for a minute or two longer until I find a replacement for it. But I have more than one NARS red, and like that one's a bit lighter. So these guys can kind of be passed along to friends depending on their dates. But the one that I feel like it's not perfectly a replacement for is Ruby Woo. So that is Ruby Woo right there. It's like NARS's top selling red lipstick, MAC, not ours. So I am going to be ditching or passing this along. I don't remember how old this is. So those reds can kind of go to the side. I have another bright red. This will get passed along at some point, and it's the Kylie Jenner Mary Jo. I feel like there was some kind of change between the first one and the second one, and I don't like the second one as much as I like the first, but I really love a good red like matte lip. The one thing that I haven't quite found a dupe for in my collection yet is NARS Heatwave, which is more of an orangey one. I think that Kosas probably has a dupe for this, but I just haven't. It's not really a color that I need right now, so I haven't really bought it, but this will kind of hang out so I can compare and swatch them for now. And then the other things that I feel like I'm really happy with getting rid of, like I found a replacement that I'm really comfortable with and feel like fits really well in my routine. The Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow was a gift last year for Christmas, and I have like barely put a dent in this guy because I went away from it and then kind of came back to it. But I travel with this palette a lot. I do my mascara in this mirror quite often. It's a good size for that, but I also I love this combination. Like this bronzer and highlighter, this palette alone is one of my favorite things in my collection. So getting rid of this was definitely something that was a bit more of a struggle for me. But I did buy the Lolo Sculpt and Glow Contour Duo. I don't know if there's like a light, dark, medium, whatever in this. So I feel like this is definitely, there you can see the difference. I feel like the bronzers are quite close, the highlighters not as much. And the pans are definitely not by any means near the same size. So this guy is about 0.56 ounces and this one is 0.35 ounces. But in that regard, this is a 30-month expiration and this is 12 months. So at least, yeah, you're getting, you'll probably use it in about the same time. So this guy's gonna get passed on because it's only been a year since I've had that. I have a couple of other things in my collection that I'm getting rid of. I haven't quite found replacements for. Becca Moonstone, still a wonderful highlighter. I did buy like the Pixie duo of highlighters, and I still have the highlighter in my Kosas one, and it might be kind of close, but Moonstone's such a classic highlighter. I have an icier highlighter, a couple of different icier options, so I am comfortable with passing that along. It is a cult classic for a reason. And then again, because I really love my Chanel bronze Tandy Soleil, but I have two other ones, and the Well People one, again, I don't feel like this is as pigmented as I necessarily want it to be, but I have been enjoying using my Vapour Stick and the Solar Translucent Bronze Simmer. So I planned on doing a little swatcheroo this weekend of the Vapour Stick foundations and seeing if one of their darker colors would be a good option. But again, it's just one of those things. I kind of want to do it in person and see. It's taken me a little bit of trial and error to get this to work for me, and it's just about figuring out how to blend it because I was trying other products at the same time. But now that I've kind of figured that out, I've been pairing it with my Lily Lolo, and I've been enjoying that. And then the other thing that I kind of made the jump to a different blush a couple of months ago. And for a while I was using a NARS sample that I had, but I did pick up a baked blush in Rose. So I am really liking this one so far. It's super pigmented. It goes on beautifully. I really love the color. So I would definitely try a few more of those. I had never really jumped on the like NARS Orgasm train. I really liked that particular blush, but I don't have a dupe for that yet because I've just kind of been buying certain shades. Blush isn't necessarily my thing. I also have the Smith & Colt Book of Sun duo, and this is a bit more bright pinky. I don't reach for this palette nearly as much as I should, but it's a good travel palette and the mirror is really nice and the products are bigger. I bought this a couple months ago when I was considering getting another Kosas blush, but the thing with the Kosas blushes is the blushes are different, but the highlighters are all the same, so you're not really getting much of a different product. And I also just noticed that this is like a 6-month mark on the back of it. So apparently I have a lot of product to start using. And the other thing that I'll be getting rid of out of my collection, and not necessarily because I don't know where this actually falls on the clean beauty scale, I just don't reach for it all that much, and it's the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. It's nothing, there's nothing wrong with it, I just don't tend to gravitate towards it, and since I don't use it, and I have 3 other bronzers in here, it's not gonna get used. So that one's kind of leaving. I haven't really, as far as mascara, the only things I still have in my collection are a few recent purchases. Whatever I hauled in November for my Atlanta haul, those mascaras are staying just because mascara is such a fickle thing and I'm not as concerned about that right now. But I do have the Lolo one to try, and I have the Well People one. It's probably due to be chucked in the trash. It's kind of old, but it doesn't give me the quite the length and volume that I love. So mascara is going to be a trial and error thing for me. But I did invest in one eyeshadow palette, and I will say I don't feel like, if I'm honest, it's not a dupe or a replacement for anything yet. These pigments are just so light. Like, you can see my eyeshadow today, and I did it with those, and I imagine you could build it up. I haven't quite done that yet, but overall I just feel like it's super light. So I'm definitely in the market for a darker or better eyeshadow palette. But I've kind of kept a few of the basic ones, and I will probably par these down a little bit more if I want to keep, for now, if I want to kind of keep the Morphe one, just because it has so many colors. I can really kind of compare and contrast and gift a few more of these away. The nice thing about the smaller palettes though is they travel better. This one is just so huge, and as you can see, I have dropped it and already broken one of the shadows in the corner. So, but yeah, that is where we're at. I am on some of these things I've already made transitions for and haven't really done anything different. So we know that I've been using this Coola primer for months. I'm almost out of this bottle. I have a replacement. I love and adore this primer. I don't really see that changing. I would like to find a different alternative for this by Terry, just because I really love it. I need to check the ingredients again. They might not be as questionable as I was thinking, but I have purchased both the 100% pure all over deeply sun-kissed and the debronzy anti-pollution sunshine drops. That's a lot, from Drunk Elephant. And neither one of these has quite hit the mark on the same level. I like them. I think I'm still learning how to use them, but it's not the same. So, and yeah, so now I have a nice collection of things that I'm getting rid of. The other thing that I still need to replace is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I have the tiniest bit left of here, and I'm kind of keeping that in case I need it for event makeup or anything fancy. And then I think that's it. So I still have definitely, I want to make the transition as far as eyeshadow palettes, but I think I'm gonna have to really kind of get my hands on those and swatch them. So when I'm in bigger cities and I can look at those, I will do that, because I want stuff that is equally pigmented. But I could probably narrow down my eyeshadow palettes a bit, because I do have quite a few going on over here. So really quickly, let's do a compare and contrast, and then we can wrap up the video. So palettes are all laid out side by side. I think I've kind of decided that Naked Heat and my little Smashbox palette can disappear. I do want to keep this one just because the colors are fun and festive, and in case I need that for something, I'd rather have that than not have that for now. So that kind of removes 2 palettes from my collection. I love the mauve palette still, and both of these guys. So I feel like that's really kind of paring down my collection, considering I didn't have a ton before, and I did a clean out 6 months ago. This gives me pretty much a base range of everything to work with until I can kind of build up palettes otherwise. So that means I'm getting rid of 3 eyeshadow palettes, and having all of these means that I'm good to get rid of these other little colors. So I don't know which friend is going to get some fun eyeshadow, but we will stick it in the pile for them to choose between. I'm going to kind of take these with me this weekend, and friends who are interested in kind of picking things up will get them. But yeah, so that is the official makeup clean out. everything is a lot smaller, so you can kind of see everything looks thinned out. There's definitely not as much in there. I can use with a little more cleaning out and the lipstick stuff, and I need to put all of these guys away. But other than that, it's pretty much, it's all clean beauty for the most part. There may be a little bit in the eyeshadow drawers that still aren't there. There's like 1 or 2 items, but we've definitely made a giant leap forward. So I'm hoping to get my hands on more products. I definitely know that there are things that I still need and want to try, and I'm gonna make a very conscious effort to do that in the next couple of months. But I feel like this is a good big step, because before I was still kind of hoarding and holding on to things, and this has kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I feel like I replaced a lot of the items I was really afraid to not have in my collection, and that was a big step for me. So now I will be gifting all of these beauties to somebody else. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm gonna make today's vlog, I say short, this isn't gonna be short, but I am traveling this weekend, so I'm gonna try to get a bunch of stuff done. I will be going out later today, so I might vlog, I don't know, but for now let's just assume that this is the end of today's vlog. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys, you matter to me. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any clean beauty recommendations for the things that I'm looking to replace. I have a handful of swatches and lots of colors to try, and as we can see, I own a lot of red. So but yeah, I love you guys, thanks so much for hanging out, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.